Hey, how's it going? So right now, I'm going to talk about Reginald the Vampire. There are my YouTube disclaimers. And, oh yeah, begin. I said begin. Wrong button. Okay, anyway. So, I happened upon this show, I think probably a month or two before it actually began, maybe longer, because I saw a commercial for it, or somewhere, but I saw the tail end of it. So what I saw was characters sort of running out of frame, and it was a very short period of time. And then overlaid over it was the graphic logo of the show, which unfortunately I don't have to show you. Sorry about that. But you can search it. It's a sci-fi show. It came out this year, and the first season is not even over, and I already just can't wait to talk about it because it struck me in such a way in a time where I really needed to see what it had to show me. So, again, spoilers. I am going to try and behave myself and not say too much. So let me just start by saying that Reginald is not acceptable as a vampire to the other vampires, regardless of the fact that his maker made him and decided to, give him the life of vampirism. Reginald does not fit the profile, and that's part of, at least in this first season, what is a major part of the story. And it is, well, I thought about it you know how if you're in high school, I don't know, this may not have happened to everyone, but sometimes we're in high school and you become the subject of bullying or the object of bullying or teasing, humiliation, whatever it is. You know how kids can be so cruel. It sounds corny, but it's so friggin' true. But the thing is, when you leave school, you figure, thank God all that crap is over. I don't have to deal with it anymore. And then you go get a job and you find out the same people are there acting the same way. And it's well, however evolved you may become, it doesn't matter because I've had the job so many times. I'm just saying, you find those same archetypes of person. Stop it, no. You find that same archetype of person in your life again, and it's just oh my freaking God, can I just live my life and be the person I want to be without all this interference and judgment and pranks and teasing and it's oh my God, it never ends. But on the other hand, that is not the whole of life, so just calm down. Calm down. There's lots of other stuff to life, thank God, and that's something you don't get as a child. So I mean, also, now you're getting paid at least to put up with these people. So, what I'm saying is the character of Reginald, for me, is a very relatable human. And as a human, he is kind of pretty typical of what we expect from humans, sadly. And that is that we are flawed and fallible. We are not entirely truthful. And for whatever reason, we're not, or we can't be, or we feel like we can't be. I mean, there's so much that could be going on with another person that goes unsaid that it could cause problems for having not said whatever it is in your life, whether it gets articulated. Like, the power of thought is powerful. So you could think yourself into some corners if you can't, like, learn to let stuff go and not dwell on things to a fault, basically. So these are characteristics of myself that I could relate to Reginald as the human character. And then the other problem the vampires have with Reginald is that he is failing to shed his human qualities as vampire, which led me to another, I guess, metaphor of thought about vampirism. I guess in any context, but in the context of this show, and that is that I have been a musician, although that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the only way you will come across this, but it is one way you will for sure come across it, and that was opium addiction. So it wasn't my personal thing, but it was inescapable. It was omnipresent, and I certainly did it many times before I got sick and actually had to seek it out as a pain reliever, because in LA, if you didn't have like a compound fracture, which is a bone sticking out and gushing blood everywhere, you did not have an injury serious enough to be given pain medication in no insurance California, and this would have been in the early 90s for me. So I had to like go on the streets. But I did, because of that, come into contact, well, I had already come in contact with a lot of the heroin addicts at that point. But the point I'm trying to get to here is that they go from being this, like, one type of person to, as they become addicted to the opiate, less of that kind of person and more of the vampire type person that is kind of apathetic except as to their own needs. Like, they gotta have that blood, they gotta get that fix, or they'll like die. And the other component that goes along with that is that as you like lose whatever you lose of your, I guess, basic humanity and become more addicted, you kind of don't really give a crap about what your actions, what consequences they create. Like, you don't care. And I'm not going to go into all the whys and everything about that. It's not really that unknown of a feature anymore in opiate world America now. So, but that's what Reginald lacked as a vampire, and I think it's because he retained his human qualities. He didn't get that full-on opiate of the vampirism, and so, but what he also brought along was some pretty shitty little tendencies, like dishonesty and misusing the authority of the glamoring. Although, I could kind of see why he chose to use it the way he did on the person he chose to use it on, because there was a power dynamic that existed before Reginald was a vampire. And it was not just because, I'll just say it, Todd was his boss, but also, like, Todd would have been that person in school that would have just been relentlessly, sorry YouTube, but fucking with Reginald all the time, just to get a rise out of him, or to sink him, like, to make him feel like utter crap. Been there, felt that. So, those are the basics of the story. I happened to start watching it, well, actually before this happened, but recently, well, here's a whole, recently I was in kind of a, I'll just say it, a bit of a poo-poo. Hey, come on now. Stop trying to go dark on me. kind of in a poo-poo state of mind. And here, I gotta stop this for a second. It's doing weird stuff. Okay, it's still doing weird stuff. But anyway, I was just in a really poo-poo state of mind. It's the month of December. It is the month of my birthday. And normally, I don't really observe it personally. I used to get phone calls, and then now I don't. I'm not going to go into all of that, just reasons or why. And I was getting like birthday wishes on Facebook because even though I wasn't there, the people were paying so much attention to my account. They were just all, happy birthday, and I wasn't answering because I wasn't there. It's it's whatever you want to call that situation. Man, this is all dark, and I don't know how to make it stop without like actually stopping this, so I'm just going to keep going. Anyway, so I had decided before this month came along, since I've been doing a lot of self-care and learning to like pamper myself and treat myself, and I thought, well, hell, I would like to celebrate my birthday. And so this is how I was going to do it. The idea was I was going to order a cake from my hometown of Los Angeles, from a bakery where my parents used to get me this mocha chocolate cake that I just adored when I was a kid. And I thought, well, hell, let me call up that place or go online and order a cake. So I go online, and there's like a fresh entry on their site that they're closed, which there seemed to be no projection for reopening. And damn it, I think COVID killed it. So strike that. And then, again, that was before December actually began. And then when December began and I got my little monthly paycheck, I thought, okay, I'm going to order well in advance of my birthday, which gave me a few weeks. And then, like, it'll come and I can, if it comes early, I'll put it in the freezer or, whatever. But I want to get it before the day. So I was shopping and found it was really difficult to find that cake that I wanted, the type. I'm not going to go any further because I'll just start. But anyway, it just turned into a whole frustrating thing because I was never able to find, like, I couldn't get a call back, I couldn't get a response. Like, you'd think, like, right now people would really want to be selling their cakes, and I couldn't get a response from any of these places, and it was like, dang, I guess I'm just not meant to order a cake for my birthday. So I tried looking for alternatives in town, and it just kept being like, nope, deflected, defied, no. I was starting to get real bent out of shape, like, what is happening? Why can I not do this for myself? And very quietly in the background, because I'm making such a freaking fuss about it, there's a voice in my head saying, just calm down, like, it'll all work out, like, you don't know what's going to happen on the day. And because I'm a freaking spaz, I can't let go of it very well and thinking about it, but I finally had to, because I was having no success in it. Started to bleed into other areas. It was like I'd try to do something and be like, no, you cannot do stuff. Just stop trying. And I was like, oh my God. Like, yeah, it really like messed up my state of mind. And then like other stuff happened and I made some regrettable errors. And the month's not even over yet. And my birthday is still like a ways off, and so I just felt like I was in this, I don't want to say bad place, but it wasn't the most opportune place. And I did finally find like my last resort of a cake that's in my freezer, so yay for that. And it was the cheapest thing, because holy crap, it's like 80% cheaper than one of the cakes I would have ordered. Even if I got a half one, it would have been still several times over more expensive than what I got in the store. when I finally located it. Okay, anyway. So I was watching this show, Reginald the Vampire, while all this was going on, and I started to really relate to the problems he was facing in the show. He's got like a vampire assessment exam he's got to take, and he's exploring like love for the first time in his life. And let's face it, he's young, but he's not a child. He's late in the game, which I also can relate to. Leave it at that. And he's just got all this incoming stimulus, and he can't really deal with it all very well. I mean, it's a lot. Just the stuff on a human level is daunting because he constantly self-sabotages himself, and it's really sad and funny and relatable. And then also, like, other things about the show is it's very clever. Like, there's some lines they slip in there. The one I'll just share with you, Reginald's vampire progenitor and Reginald are being dressed down by a superior level administration vampire, and the progenitor defends Reginald by saying, I don't want to live in my world without him in mine, or I don't want to live in his world without him in mine, which is a line from the Gladys Knight and the Pips song, Midnight Train to Georgia, if I didn't mangle it too badly. That's the gist. I don't want to live in his world without him in mine. I don't want to live in this world without him in mind. See, now I'm all confused. I should know that. When the song comes on, I know the words. This is embarrassing. Anyway, the line I'm trying to repeat from that song is in there, and the context in which they used it just... all my bones went liquid. I was laughing so hard. It was like a hit on so many levels. And that was a pun. Because that song was a hit for Gladys Knight and the Pips. Ooh, I got the cornball rolling. Okay, sorry about that. There is severe loss, because if you think about it, I mean, you're leaving people behind on a very drastic level when you make the transition from human to vampire. Like, you're going to outlive everyone that you'll ever know except for another vampire. And Reginald has this other really human characteristic that I think irritates the vampires very much, is he would like to unvampire himself. He wants to go back to his life so he can enjoy it in relative peace and safety compared to what his life as a vampire has become. But then he also gets all wrapped up in like his vampire skills and abilities. It's funny though, he only takes advantage of some of them. Like, well, if you watch the show, you'll see. I don't want to say much more. Let me just consult my notes here to see if I have anything to add. Talked about that. Ooh, this is taking too long. Oh, and by the way, this is... I have it on the board. I don't know how legible it is. What's playing is Jeff Dahl's Electric Junk album from 2019. It's my music while I see if I'm missing anything. Okay, here. Reginald, for me, is the embodiment of both human fallibility and also the strength and resilience we can learn to draw from our own depths to propel ourselves to new heights of achievement. We can and do have a great capacity to surprise ourselves. Oh, here's some Here's some notes. Vampire family values. Don't want to live in this world without him in mind. There's the correct line. Lazy, weakened by fear, makes Reginald all the more an unlikely hero. Well, the thing about him being a hero is he learns to surmount his own doubts and fears. Not all of them all at once, but a lot of them, and he does pretty well. I'm suitably impressed. He gives me hope. So, yeah. I liked it. I hope that you will watch it and also enjoy it. Reginald the Vampire. Yeah! Thank you and good night. I'm going to get it right this time.